I'm going to make another layer from scratch this time. I'll create another layer. On top. And I'm going to use the gradient tool. And I'm going to set the mode to soft light and the opacity to 50%. I can change this back and forth anytime I want afterwards. Let's start with the gradient tool. It's underneath the paint bucket here too, G. I'm going to go up into here and choose a rainbow spectrum. I could choose any one of these just by clicking on them, but for this I want a rainbow spectrum. And I'm going to hit OK. And rather than use the standard linear gradient, I'm going to use the angled one right there. I'm going to change the mode to difference and the opacity to 50%. And what I'm going to do is drag and draw a couple of simple lines across here. And it's on this layer, and you'll see how it affects. Here's one. Here's another. You can do this as many times as you want. Command Z if you do something you don't like. And you can, if you just don't like the whole effect at all, totally, you can get rid of it simply by hitting Control A to select all, then backspace, and then deselect, Control D, and you can just do it all again. I'm going to take the opacity up a little bit and just do it again here. There. I'm going to leave it like that. You can see how it just adds some interesting subtle colors to the image. You can change the look here by, trying a different mode, or upper or lower the opacity. You have all sorts of variations there. Did I mention save your file? Okay, we're going to make a border around here now. You'll see what these guides are useful for now. Another layer, right there on the top. And then we're going to make a brush that's a little bit odder than our usual brush. So let's go to the paintbrush tool and make a brush here. Let's see what would be good. 50% hardness, let's say, and about 100 pixels wide. Okay. Now, we're going to click in here, this little square. Brings this up. I'm going to click get rid of it. You could have gone into here and gone into brushes, or hit the F5 key to find it. And we're going to modify the shape dynamics and scattering. There's lots of other things that you can adjust, but we're going to do these two. I'm going to click in the words shape dynamics, and this comes up. I'm going to adjust the jitter a little bit. Okay. Jitter just changes the size of the brush while you're drawing on it, just kind of like randomly. And turn this off. If I had a pressure sensitive pen, I could use that. I do, but I don't know if you do, so I'm going to leave it off. And then we're going to go down. I could adjust these two if I want to. I'm going to go down to scattering, and I'm going to scatter it a little bit. Like that. I could adjust the count, all sorts of controls. But let's just leave it like that, a nice lumpy brush. Okay. Now, we want it default and white. I'm going to go right up here. Maybe I'll make it a little bigger than 100. Right there, click there, and I get a white. Holding the Shift key down, and go down to this corner, click again, over to here, click again, over to here, click again, and over to here, click again. Then I'm going to flesh out the white all the way around the edge here like this. I have a nice lumpy border. I want to blur that because it has a soft edge, but I want it even more. So I'm going to go into Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, my favorite, and increase that some. You'll notice you won't see anything here because it's just a white edge, and you only see the one layer you're dealing with. So I'm going to hit OK. Now I'm going to want to add some other filters to this border. I could have just left it just like this, but I want to give some more filters to it. Because this is kind of like soft, everything else is kind of scratchy. I want to add kind of like a scratchy filter to this. I have to do some odd things to do it. First thing I'm going to do is go down to the background layer, and I'm going to fill it with black, putting the black in the foreground, moving over to the Paint Bucket tool and clicking just anywhere in the image. And you can see that it fills the black background. I'm going to double click there, turn it into a movable layer, and now move it up just below our top layer. Now you can see you have a black and a white layer, and you can't see anything else. I'm going to highlight this top layer here, and I can either go here, layer, down to merge down, or I can go to these little lines right up here in the corner of the layers panel, click here, and go down and merge down. Merge down merges the layer you're on with the layer directly below it and leaves all the rest alone. So you can't see through this. I'm going to change the mode to screen, and now you can. If I changed it to multiply, you can see through the white, but I'm changing it to screen so you can see through the black. Now I can apply a filter to this layer and it will affect the entire, edge. Let's go to Filter, Filter Gallery, and Brush Strokes, Crosshatch, which gets this weird effect. I could have used spray or spatter. Those are all good for edges, but I like crosshatch. And I'm going to push the sliders all the way, which makes them sharp and long and strong. And hit OK. Takes a while. There it goes. An optional extra is to add an adjustment layer to all of the colors, all of the layers. Click here, the little adjustment layer icon on the bottom of the layers panel. I'm going to add a simple one, photo filter, and I'm going to move it below the border so it doesn't affect the border. I'm going to, I set it warming filter now. I'm just going to Increase the intensity. You can see it kind of warms things up nicely. There's lots of other options. I'm going to leave it like that. And there you are. All done.